Hey, Kadra Joe Gore here for apophatic fooding. Apophatic, an unusual Greek word that talks about what God is not. So we talk about cosmopolitan issues, big subjects, and look at them from perspectives of what they're not used to looking at them for. Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, a guy named Voltaire, Katie Bryan, everybody's got interesting points that we could all benefit from, all while we're cooking great stuff on apophaticfooding.com. Hey, welcome to Apophatic Fooding, wonderful new program that mixes the recipe between critical thinking and food. Most unusual. Hopefully it won't give you an upset stomach. But either way, today we're going uptown, getting fancy schmancy with crab cakes. Crab pancakes. Big, grande crab cake instead of a series of small ones. And then we just cut it open like a birthday cake or pie and pass it around. Let's see. This is new to me. We'll see, find out if it works. But let's quickly get some cleanliness going here. You never know where your hands have been. I can't trust myself that way. But now, what's the number one ingredients in crab cake? Is crab meat, lump crab meat, the big, juicy, chunky stuff. And costs a little bit more, but it's quite well worth it. Stuff comes cooked / pasteurized, so it's already clean. You don't have to worry about it going bad on you near instantly. And we're going to do the magic of television. Voila! You are now being officially entertained. You need 3 eyes, 2 on me and 1 on the box. Super cool. Look at this nice, lumpy, big pieces of crab meat. A full pound. All right. Let's break it apart some. What I wanted to do before we get too far along on that, because in its purest form, you don't put any fillers in or anything like that. But no one's ever accused me of being too pure. So I'm going to put a little bit in and some nice planko, or sometimes called Japanese breadcrumbs, kind of a little bit firmer. And just put a little bit in. It'll add a little body and texture, I think. That certainly is not negative per se. Question is, did I go to school to learn how to open these things? Or do I need a degree in something? Not too much. And then we take the crispy edge off with some olive oil. Again, you don't need extra virgin, be that expensive for a product like this in the cooking. Good old-fashioned, good olive oil will do it. Look at this. As Julia Childs said, need a little bit more. Probably put a little bit more. Okay. That should come out quite nice. Try that for a few minutes. Get a little bit of salt and pepper in, including red pepper. Give it a little bit of bite. Take it up a notch. Take that guy. I don't want to make it into a jalapeno hot Mexican crab cake, just a little bit of that stuff. And if I can only find my hammer right there. Hey, Mambo. Can't complain about that. Then we got him. A little bit of salt. Somewhere I've got some salt. Like right here. That can go right in. Sea salt. Does anybody buy regular salt anymore? Sea salt is so common and inexpensive. Do that and we'll hit it up a shade more. Little coarse black Malabar pepper. Wherever Malabar is, I'm sure they're famous for it. Got that. So gently break these up. We don't want to make it into mush or paid for all that nice lumpy crab meat. Let's gently push that up. Actually, probably less extra salt. I'll put a little bit more. But this stuff had some sodium put in when they processed it and cooked it. Nice, nice. Crab. It's in the same family of seafood as shrimp, clams, mussels, oysters, all those things got hard shells. They have some common characteristics. What are they like? They're high in cholesterol. Not good. So probably eating it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week is not a good idea. But occasionally, it's okay. Of course, it depends on your condition, but I'm not going to be your doctor. The other one is it has zinc, plenty of zinc, which is good for wink, wink. You know what the guys who are told that they need extra energy, get some zinc in your blood. And this is all good for you. Now we're going to add some fresh pepper. This stuff is not burning hot, but it's not a sweet pepper. So again, we'll put some in. Adds color. Look at this beautiful rainbow on this one. Can't complain about that. And if you don't like it, you can put some sweet peppers in, some bell peppers, if that's what makes you happy. Peppers, onions. Can't do without onions and garlic and almost everything. Maybe except breakfast, I don't know. But got a nice Vidalia onion here. A beautiful white flesh. Kind of nice. Cut that up. Kind of small, because we're not going to be cooking it all that long or directly. I guess I could caramelize them or pre-cook them. But cutting them up small will probably give you a little bit of flavor. And seeing how they're not as sulfur-based as regular onions, these Vidalia sweet onions. Yep. Looking good. And then the stinking rose of the kitchen, the garlic. This, I would have to make the program probably double its length if I put in as much and actually cut it fresh like I am, as I would like. But instead, I'll act normal for a change. Doesn't feel good. You normal? Oh, let's hope not. Normal means somebody else is telling you what to do, even if it's in your own mind. But apophatic is what it's not about. Life is not about. What cooking is not about. Like I said, we're not going to give you a recipe. Just kind of remember, use some good ingredients. That's almost always the number one. Fresh, good ingredients, vegetables, meat. And then if you warm it up or heat it, how bad can it be? Now we'll get a little bit of eggs in there. Congeal, hold it together a little bit. Otherwise, you see it just laying there. It'll never make any shape. I think two should do. You either put the whole egg in or just the whites. Do the whites only, you kind of capture the yellows. It's a shame to throw it away, but could save it for something. But in the interest of expediency, television. It's not real world. Look at that. Get some of that stuff in there. Yucky. I know one fellow who won't eat eggs because he says where they come from, the chicken. And that's the truth. Now, we've got some pretty nice stuff working here. I'm going to top it off with a little more color. What's missing is a favorite color, green. Got green with celery. Give it a little bit of crunch when we finally get around to eating it. Could use some more pepper. Not the hot pepper. Let the real thing go and get it heated up. You know, the seafood can have its own little language at times. I think it's called a fish song. There's great language in it, like, I found her attractive. a delicate creature. She is the best of my life. I now have a purpose in life. Think about if you switched away, you would have missed that profound piece of poetry. You got to stay with apophatic fooding. The stuff pops up here, pops up there. World-changing, profound thoughts. And I ain't kidding. Get a little more pepper in there. I can anticipate how it's going to taste. You know, olive oil is my bread and butter go-to. And in this one, I can share with a little more traditional butter. This one's clarified butter. Got most of the fat taken off. Get some of the more traditional valued flavors. Now we'll get that breadcrumbs in. The only thing missing is what I talked about. Mentioned just a moment ago. Got the celery. You know, these guys got some nice ribs in on them. Certainly not bad. If you want to treat yourself like Donald Trump gets treated, or what's his name? Barack. He wouldn't eat these fibers on here. He'd have munchkins like me. pulling them off and making it all the more tender. What's his name? Strictly optional, like peeling your grapes. You know, Julius Caesar had munchkins doing that for him. As I often say when I'm eating something either fancy or just good, I'll lean over to my partner and say, I wonder what the common people are doing today. Are you common? I like them finely chopped, especially in a dish like this. Potato salad is the other dish I use it in. I'll keep them a little bit chunkier. And of course, the rose. All right. Something you're not supposed to do with television time is have quiet, dead time. The cardinal rule. Just keep talking. And talk fast. If you're on a news program, talk so fast that this old boy can't even understand you half the time because you're talking about what's happening and I don't understand it. You get paid by the word or you get paid by saying something profound or relevant. Got relevance, bring them over. They'll probably like this. All right, getting frighteningly close. Now the question becomes, what do I do with it? Making meatballs. Put them between your hands. I'll do probably at least one small one. I've never tried it as a pancake. We'll see if it works. Again, not too hard. Don't want to make it into a mush. That fine meat. Do we even have that? No. I'm probably gonna have my favorite technician go look for that shot. There we go. I don't think the pancake idea is going to work. Can we change the name of the show at this time? Let's see how big I dare make one of them. That's one thing about watch. There's not the Food Network. Nothing's rehearsed. I'll keep that on the side for now. Let's find something to flip these guys. I was talking about zinc in seafood, and especially oysters. It's supposed to be good for a guy. Keep him alive and active longer. So when I was back and one of my buddies in Brooklyn was getting married, after the whole ceremony, winds up with overhearing the bride and the best maid talking, and the bride says, "You know, I'm a little worried about Johnny. I don't know if he's gonna be up to it this evening." Bridesmaid says, "Not to worry. Take him into the restaurant, buy him a dozen oysters. Guaranteed you'll be okay." Next morning, they're all checking out, and the bridesmaid says, "Well, how'd it go?" Bride says, "Didn't work, the oysters." They almost always do. I bought him a dozen oysters, and he only came to me 5 times. You can imagine. There probably wasn't enough zinc in those oysters. Those course was pre-little blue pill days. Let's see what we can do here. All right. I'm back. Could you get a bigger pan, please? Yeah. You know, sometimes things that taste the best are a little bit sloppy. Woo! Looking good. What is that? Oh, yes, nice and brown. Are you getting that? Yes, look at that. The old-fashioned way. You know, you buy those ones in the freezer in the supermarket. Give me a break. Hello, where's the crab? The old lady about where's the beef? This will be working fine. Of course, with the crab, should be a nice libation. Happen to have some bottle already opened. In fact, not for this show because it doesn't pair well a red with this nice white meat. I thought I stumbled on apophatic red wine. No, Appletec. So either way, not apple, but Appletec. A mysterious place where wine was blended and stored in 13th century Europe. Apophatic red offers a truly unique wine experience, but for some other time when it's more in line with what we're eating. Look at how nice and brown that is. Ah, can't buy that. You go to the ocean. You were here in Atlanta. Volare. In an appropriate tea glass. You know, with all the seafood that we're doing and everything, a book, I try to remember to put a referral to a book in most programs. There's a book called Women Who Run with the Wolves. Doesn't sound like a fishing story. Some Dr. Estes wrote it. Really interesting, nice book. Number of the stories in it have got themes about the ocean and the fishermen and the bones of people past and things like that. Really interesting, very profound spiritual type stuff, not modern versions of mystery or murder, nothing like that. Very spiritual. And one of the lines in the book that I'll remember is the fisherman talking to, I guess it's a mermaid. Fishy, fishy in the sea, hearken, hearken unto me. Josephine, my willful wife, does not like my way of life. Fancy poetry. So before I get myself in more trouble with my ex, I'll wind up letting that one go. But it really, and then there's a whole story that winds up about how he's chasing all kinds of issues in the story, the bones of the mermaid and living under the ocean. Really interesting stuff. Women Who Run with the Wolves. Very interesting book. Let me see if I can get something out of here. And though you can't smell how good this stuff is, especially with the garlic and onions, the crew here is about to rip my leg off like a shark if we don't get to eating this stuff soon. Little lemon, indispensable. And of course, in this case, I would like parsley, but cilantro is a good substitute. Because when I went shopping, you believe it, they didn't have parsley. Actually, they had it. I didn't like the way it looked. There were a lot of brown spots on it. I don't need to buy that. Remember, fresh, good. Let me see what we got here. Wouldn't hurt to put a little cheese on it, a little Parmesan, whatever, but let's keep it simple and pure. Remember, we didn't try and contaminate this too much. Somewhere in this kitchen there is a knife. And before we always eat, another little poem is dear to my heart. It says, thank you for we're conscious of the forces and the people it took to get this food in front of us. We're thankful and deserving. Now we can how in, as my aunt said. I mean, shovel in. Can't buy it. Can't buy it. Go to the ocean. Eat on the pier. Can't buy it. Wonderful. Stick around. Watch the rest of the programs. They're all interesting and pointed with information and perspectives that you probably haven't heard before and may or may not agree with. But I'm interested in your opinion. Opine to me on joe@applephaticfooding.com. Have a good one. Be well.